Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the FTD Virtual Design Show titled The Art of Merchandising, featuring Jacob McCall, AIFD. As a quick housekeeping note, Jacob will be taking questions during this session. So if you have a question, simply type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen. All right, let's get started. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you, Janet, and thank you, FTD, for allowing everyone to jump online today and see this beautiful holiday merchandising class that we're going to be having. I'm live in the Burton & Burton showroom in Atlanta, Georgia at the America's Mart. If you've never been to Market before to shop, I invite you all to come this January for Market. The showrooms are beautiful, specifically Burton & Burton. You can walk through, it's a holiday wonderland, and I'm here amongst all of the elves that are working, and there's tons of trees, garlands, ornaments galore, you name it. You'll get to see just a few of their items that we're going to use for merchandising, along with FTD containers and beautiful flowers. So let's get started. First off, the FTD containers, they have really fabulous niche containers. Some of these are quite festive. This one says fa la la, and we also have the reindeer, and my personal favorite was the gingerbread house. I wanted one of those, but you guys have been buying them so much that they are everywhere across the nation right now, being delivered to someone's mom or friend or wife or whoever that is receiving the flowers. So they're really, really beautiful, but really fun containers, really cool containers, and super trendy. So make sure that you look at the marketplace containers and start placing your orders. They'll be ready for Valentine's very soon. Okay, the first set that we're going to start with is these really beautiful cinched vases. Super simple. These are everyday containers that you can use. You can also use them for party wear, gift wear, or anything like that, even candle holders. But they're super simple and very, very beautiful. I have a selection of flowers today and fresh Christmas greens that we're going to be working with. And as we're going to be going, the mantle behind me will start being filled up with different sets. So it will change out. And by the end, we'll have it fully merchandised so you can actually see it and get inspiration for that. We're going to use a little bit of seeded eucalyptus. Today, I love fresh greens mixed with fresh Christmas greens. I'm going to take a little bit of this aluminum chartreuse green wire just to act as an armature inside the base. Now, an armature is something that holds something together. In floral design, we use lots of armatures, and it's anything that will bind or hold the floral arrangement together. So this, I'm taking the aluminum wire with a Sharpie pen, and I'm just mimicking grapevine by just adding a few little curls like so. I take this and I place this just gently inside, and what that does is it holds the stems in place so they don't shift around, especially whenever they're going out for delivery. I love seeded eucalyptus because it's so elegant, and the berries on it are so beautiful, and the smell is great as well, the fragrance of eucalyptus, especially for holidays. Place that in. And I'm going to be using a bright chartreuse green hydrangea. This one is called Shamrock. Really gorgeous. And then you know what else is in season right now? Peonies. Who doesn't love peonies? They are such a trend flower. Everybody loves them. They are a little expensive, but trust me, if you have them in your shop, they're going to be sold really quickly. But you can place one peony in a design and it just transforms the entire design itself. Look how gorgeous these are. They're so beautiful. The ruffles on them. Just a few of the peonies over the top of this design. And then we'll take some fresh cedar. You want to make sure that all of your foliage is out of the water. The stems should be in water, but the foliage itself should be out. I like to use contrasting colors, and these are lime green, mint green carnations. And I love carnations because not only do they smell really fabulous, but they last super long. Place this in. Really pretty. And then we're going to add a little bit of Burton & Burton ribbon around the cinch of the neck. Simply just tying a simple knot. And I like to fishtail the ribbon. We'll slide it around to the front so you can see it. Like so. Really pretty, and then we'll place it on the back side, and then we will replicate it as well. Again, we'll use a little bit of aluminum wire. We're replicating grapevine with the little knots. Place it in so it holds the stems really nicely. A few more of the shamrock hydrangeas.
Those look cool just with the seated uke in there, Jacob.
Ma'am?
I was saying, it looks cool with just the seated uke in there, just the starting.
So pretty. Just a few of those. We are in a live setting at market, so we have some customers walking around and watching live, so it's a good thing.
Anything for sale? Cash and carry.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You can check with the elves down the street down there.
Okay.
And this time, instead of the cedar, I'm going to use a little bit of a fir branch in, just so it adds that true Christmas feeling. In like that. And then more peonies. Now imagine what these are going to look like in a couple of days. They're going to be fully blossomed out, huge. They're so pretty. These look like huge roses. That. And again, replicating with the ribbon. Now, when you're merchandising these in your store or in your cooler, as a set, they could be sold separately or they can be sold together. And the best way to do that is to have clear acrylic risers to do that in your cooler. That way it doesn't take away from the design, and that's what I'm designing on right now is an acrylic riser. And I'll show you. So imagine that in your cooler with a box of chocolates ready to go out. Someone will walk in the door and buy all of them. And they're so pretty and so fast. You saw how fast I was able to create those, and so simple, but yet chic. The next design that we have is the fun gnome container from FTD. It's super cool, and gnomes are so trendy right now. Everybody has them. You see them everywhere. There's movies about them. So to stay on trend, I recommend that you buy a little plush that matches these, or even balloons that match the gnomes, or have accessories that match the gnomes. And Burton & Burton actually has quite a few gnome accessories that match this guy right here. So you could have a whole display of these guys. Gonna fill Santa's hat up with a fun little, look how perfect. White hydrangea. We're gonna add hypericum berries to the top of this. Hypericum is great year round, but especially for the holiday season, hypericum is a must to have in your shop. It adds that replication of ilex berries without the cost of the ilex. I'm cleaning my foliage off of this so it's not in the water. Then we're going to pop a few really beautiful red roses over the top. just a few little roses right out of the top of this guy. You can throw in a few little sprigs of cedar if you wanted to add just a little bit more of a Christmassy feeling to it. Right out of the top. Gorgeous. Hello. Instead of an elf on a shelf, it's a gnome on a shelf.
Cute. We did get a count. He's cute with the berries in there, Jacob.
Do what now?
Amy thought he's super cute with the berries in there.
He is super cute. So know that whenever you buy the marketplace containers, obviously if you get the orders in for the exact recipe or something like that, and it's being placed over the Mercury network, but if you actually purchase the containers yourself and you're designing your own arrangement in them, clearly they're a beautiful Christmas container, you can create the sky's the limits with them and make it however you want to for your customers at home.
That's a great point. Thanks, Jacob, for clarifying. Yeah, because if it comes through the Mercury, it needs to be the recipe. But yeah, there's no reason to say that you can't do in-store specials and things and
That's
sell
right.
all day long with your own recipe.
That is correct. So I know FTD puts out an ornament container every year, and I think this is one of the cleanest, chicest ornaments that we've had for several years. I love this beautiful white container, the hobnail on the side of it, and the checkerboard design. It's just so classic and so clean and so beautiful. This one I'm going to replicate with the white hydrangea. Now you want to make sure if you use hydrangea that you have hydrated them really well. Some people use alum in the water whenever they're processing them. That's a good trick. But make sure that your foam is well hydrated. We're going to take this. Gosh, this is going to be so pretty when it's done too. It's one of my favorites. So I mentioned we're live at the Burton & Burton showroom. That's because I'm here setting up for market next month, and we have been decorating Christmas trees and garlands and doing all things Christmas for the past several weeks, and getting it ready for you guys to come in to see. So I know that a lot of people right now are doing holiday design, and you're covered in glitter too. So am I. So now to add a little bit of snow effect to it, I have really pretty rice flour that I'm going to pop just right over the hydrangea to fill in some of the holes. And rice flour is great because it fills great areas. It also adds another texture on top of the hydrangea. And it fills it out perfectly like that. Now I have a little bit of lepidium. And this is something that you don't see every day. This is a unique, some people call it money plant, lepidium, or it's got several other names. But it just adds another great texture. It's also green and white are so beautiful for Christmas and so classic. that. And then a touch of the seeded eucalyptus. Over the top of it so it lays and drapes over the top of the hydrangea. Then we have some beautiful white roses. And it doesn't take much, just a few. You know, the last, if you caught me in October for the art of customer service, I made most of the arrangements prior, and I really wanted to make them live for you. So you saw how fast you can do it and how easy it is as well. We'll place the top over it. Just like that. And it's done. Oh, shoot. Okay. Now we have the gold hammered metal bases. We're almost finished creating designs, but next we're going to be merchandising everything. Let's do that one for that. It's pretty. Place a few hydrangeas in. Take a few of the noble fir. You can flex it a little bit so it curves out when you place it into the vase.
Jacob, we've got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it better to take the hydrangea leaves off?
I leave some of the leaves. It just depends on if they've started yellowing or not. These are super fresh and green. So I leave them on. It's really a personal preference. Obviously, you want to take everything, all the foliage off above the water line.
Does it, Jacob, another question. Does that taking the leaves off, does that have anything to do with customer longevity? If you leave them on or off, or?
It doesn't. If they're super fresh, as long as you keep them above the water line. Sometimes taking more foliage off and allowing it not to drink through those holes that you've created by taking the foliage off will actually dehydrate some of the flowers.
Great, thanks.
I have some beautiful red garden roses here that we're going to place in. And these I'm just cleaning some of the thorns off and some of the foliage that I know is going to be down in the water. But anything above the water line, I don't clean off, because that's just like cutting your skin and allowing yourself to bleed a little bit. And it also allows for like an airborne infection to the flower itself. Gorgeous. How pretty that is. Very simple, really pretty. You could use these for party work. And we have a component base right next to it. So super simple. Bring this guy down. What do you think? Any questions so far? I'm gonna clean up and more merchandising.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jacob. It's beautiful.
So something important in your shop or wherever you're selling flowers at, and you are doing fresh displays or permanent displays, obviously we have a beautiful permanent wreath behind, or tree behind me here, that is simply lit and placed in a really pretty gold container. And there's a few of the permanent botanical faux leaves in there and ilex berries, just to add a pop of color. We also have the lit garland and wreath behind me. I'm going to show you, to finish it off, we have really pretty Burton & Burton plaid tartan ribbon. And to do that, I like to start with the garland. You're going to do one loop, with a twist of gauged wire, like so. You can see it really closely. And then give yourself about 2 feet and do another loop. And you can pre-make these ahead of time. If you're doing an install or you're doing it there in your shop, you can pre-make these ribbon garlands super easily. Place them in a plastic bag, and if they're wired ribbon, you can fluff them right out. About every 2 feet, I make the loop, and then I twist. The fresh Christmas green smells so good right now. I know a lot of you are using fresh greens, and by the end of the holiday season, your hands are black and cracked, and I get it. That's part of being a really fabulous florist. I'm making this about 8 or 9 feet, maybe 10 feet long. If you're not an FTD member and you're interested in being a member, you can go to ftd.com or mercurynetwork.com and have a salesperson reach out. FTD has been around for over 100 years and a really wonderful service, and with all kinds of beautiful products, and one of the best point of sale systems I've ever seen in my life. And if you're looking for really beautiful ribbon and home decor and holiday decor, check out burtonandburton.com. Okay, I think we've got enough ribbon. All right. We're going to kind of start this here in the middle. I'll place this in. And I'm going to show you how fast this is since you've pre-wired it like this. Goes in, you just kind of zigzag it back and forth.
Are you using the loop or the wire to secure it, Jacob?
It has like 2 little bunny ears of wire here. And what I do is I actually place it against the garland and I wrap it. I wrap the wire like 2 or 3 times, and then I hide the wire by just tucking it behind it. It's so fast. All righty. Then we go back. We fluff the little loops. Look how pretty that is. Super simple, but very effective. And then we'll create a bow for the wreath. And it doesn't have to be a dramatic bow. It doesn't have to be like 10 loops or anything. Just something clean and simple, because the ribbon is already so pretty and so flashy. And you want to make sure, as a professional floral artist or anyone in home decor, you want to make sure that you go back and you finish off all of the tails of your ribbon. And I like to do fishtails, especially for Christmas, like so. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to start merchandising. So you see we have, when your merchandising room, obviously it's themed, and it's better to have matching accessories and things that go with each other. So this room here, we're going to call it Cardinal. There's beautiful red faux leaves and ribbon and the tartan ribbon. So we have Cardinal containers. And what I use is clear acrylic risers in the set. And then I have some beautiful bowls that match the cardinal as well.
Jacob, is it important to mix merchandise with the floral arrangements? Is that like?
Absolutely. So if you have great walk-in traffic in your store, putting a few fresh floral designs out on your floor that are quick and easy pickups, it also livens up and makes your flower shop smell really good. But know that you can create those designs, and they can stay fresh out there. You can start tagging them as you get orders in. If you see something out there, grab it, go and tag it, deliver it to someone, recreate something really quick so it's fresh all the time. But it also allows the customer a whole different fresh experience whenever they walk into your shop. After all, they're coming to a florist, so they want to see lots of flowers. And I understand climate control and that sort of thing with fresh flowers, but if you do it really fast and really quickly, flowers can stay out for several hours, and they can stage and open up really beautiful. So, and then I have candlesticks. these are LED Patria candles. And to carry through the Redbird theme, we have a little cross that says joy in it with the Redbirds on it. But this gives you an example of merchandising in levels. You want to make sure, as you can see, I'm going to step away, everything your eye sees naturally flows. It all matches together and complements each other, and super beautiful. I mean, if you walked into a shop and everything was merchandised like this, your customers are allowed to buy one piece, or they're going to buy the entire thing. And that's the whole purpose of merchandising, is you really want more than just one sale out of it. You want them to buy the whole collection. And something that's really important too is to have display samples and then have your products already pre-packaged in the back, whether they're in your personal package, custom packaging, or they're in the box that they came in and ready to go out the door. It keeps them safe. It keeps them from being scratched or anything like that. And the customer can take it right there with them. Have your shop bags or something that has your logo on it, that when the customer walks out of your door, they see where this came from. Even put your own logo on the back side of some of these things, so that if someone sees it at someone's home or it's a gift, that you can have a resale of that, or someone will call you and say, hey, I saw these at so-and-so's house or at my friend's Christmas party, and I really want them. And you know exactly what they're talking about. I give you the beautiful Cardinal collection here at Burton & Burton and FTD. So thank you so much. It's time for questions. If you have any questions, let us know.
Wow, that's gorgeous. I want my mantle to look like that, Jacob. I'll take the collection. Thank you for sharing a lot of great information with us, showing us some amazing ways to do some merchandising and some cute arrangements too. As Jacob mentioned, we're open for any final questions. So simply type those in that question box in the upper right side of your screen. And while we wait to see if we get any final questions, FTD would like to thank Burton & Burton for allowing us to use their beautiful showroom at the America's Mart in Atlanta. Appreciate that. And thank you, Jacob, for squeezing in multiple jobs at the same time. That's much appreciated. Let's see. Amra said, do you have any pointers for cooler displays?
So cooler displays, obviously clear acrylic risers in there. And also, it depends on how your cooler is. If your cooler is a walk-in cooler, obviously creating a bucket shop inside your walk-in cooler and allowing everybody to pick stems out. If it's a simple display cooler like a 3-door or a 2-door, you want to make sure that you have risers in the cooler, that everything is properly priced, and that it's easy for the customer to receive and get. You want to make sure that if you have clear containers, that the water is super, super clear. That guarantees freshness for the customer and the longevity of the flowers. And it just makes for an overall better experience.
Great. We have another question. Were you twisting the ribbon garland as you installed it? Did you hear that, Jacob?
No, ma'am.
She asked, were you twisting the ribbon garland as you installed it?
I was not. I do twist the wire onto the garland, and I just kind of allow it to do its own thing. I mean, if it naturally rolls and ripples, that's what I do. That's also how I decorate Christmas trees. If I'm using the ribbon like that, I'll either let the ribbon just naturally come down as it comes off the spool in these little loops like that, and then I can create bows and place in as focal points.
Okay, great. Thank you. I don't see any additional questions, so, oh, one just popped in. Do you encourage window displays with fresh designs in them?
Yes and no. If you're in a region that has great weather that allows you to have fresh flowers in your window, then sure, you can have fresh branches, some fresh flowers, but only if the customer is allowed to touch it. And the reason I say that is don't waste your flowers on creating the display unless the customer can walk over there and personally buy it and pick it up.
Okay. I would think you would also need to be careful of what's in direct sunlight, maybe, because I'm assuming that would shorten the life and you'd want to keep that fresh and turned over. Right. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Recording will be available on demand on the FTD Mercury Network Florist YouTube channel. For more education programming from FTD, visit ftdi.com to register for upcoming free webinars and design shows in 2024 as we roll out that schedule, as well as to view past education programs on demand. So thank you everyone and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you.
And thank you, Jacob.